Miss Aldridge and seniors, are we ready? Mr. Levesque, are we ready?
Today, we celebrate the ending of a big chapter in our lives. We celebrate the memories and friends we have made, the challenges we have been through, and the knowledge we have gained. We thank our teachers, family, and friends for helping us navigate through these uncertain times and helping us to discover who we truly are. Today, we are grateful that God gifted us with the love and strength we needed to get where we are at this point in our lives. These 4 years of hard work have finally come to an end. Bittersweet for some, others can't wait to leave, but at one point or another, we will all miss some part of high school. May we all take with us what we have learned here at Hancock Central High School into the beginning of the next chapter of our lives.
I would like to welcome all parents, grandparents, friends, siblings, any and all who join us today to celebrate the great goal that us seniors have achieved, and also to welcome my fellow classmates in this graduating class. One more thing I would like to mention, I would like to wish my amazing mother a 40th birthday. Now I have an open letter to the senior class. Dear senior class of 2021, in and out, up and down, and back and forth, we've made it. For the past 13 years of our lives, we pined for that last day of school before summer vacation, and now this time, it's forever. We look back at the Japanese play, times tables, the class trip to Mackinac Island, the Christmas play, Camp Nesbitt, first day of high school, getting our driver's license, the global COVID-19 pandemic, and now being the oldest in the district, it's all over. It feels like just the other day, we were so proud that we made it halfway through school, and that was 6 years ago. A few have come and gone, a few unfortunately just didn't quite make it. But for the majority of us, it's been since day one. To all you teachers, parents, and coaches over the years that have heard constant negative comments and remarks about anything and everything, forget about them. To all gifts of thanks and positive remarks, cherish them. We all genuinely thank you for doing what you've done and continue to do. There is no way any of us would be the great people we are today without you. As this is the first step into the rest of our lives, we must remember that the world out there is a crazy place. So be careful and act wisely. Live in the present, but always look towards the future because it is what we make it. We become what we think about. In the back of our minds, we all have a dream or a wish that we're dying to achieve. Strive to do that thing. Always be willing to try new things and never let anyone tell you that you're not capable, because you are. If only you just try hard enough. Prepare yourself to become more independent, no matter what route you take next, while still remembering all the bittersweet moments of your childhood, for this will remind you to be thankful for even the smallest things. 10 years from now, the majority of us will be performing our adult-like things, looking back and thinking of how each of us helped one another and couldn't have asked for a better group to do that with. Congratulations, senior class of 2021. You've now stepped over that peak where the beginning of the rest of your lives lies just on the other side. You've done a great job so far. Now please just continue to do so. Sincerely, Gavin Simonson, National Honor Society President.
I would like to start off by thanking a few important individuals. First, I would like to thank Mr. Solani, Dr. Patchen, and the glue to Hancock Central High, Ms. Sherry Aldridge. The work you all put in behind the scenes to keep Hancock Central Schools running smoothly did not go unnoticed, and us seniors appreciate it very much. Second, I would like to thank the entire teaching staff here at HCH for shaping us not only into better students, but also better people through the life lessons you all have shared. Next, I would like to thank my father, Jeff, and my mother, Krista, for all you have done for me and for stressing to me the importance of doing well in school from a young age. I certainly appreciate it more than you know and wouldn't be up here giving this speech if it wasn't for all of your help. Last but not least, I want to thank all of my classmates for the fun and memories that we have shared here at HCH. Coming back to Hancock for my junior and senior years was the best decision I ever made because you all welcomed me back with open arms and made Hancock Central High feel like home. When I look back on my last 2 years here, I see nothing but fun times. I came in my junior year and was convinced by some of my friends to play on the football team and couldn't be more thankful that I did. There's no doubt I didn't have the build of your typical football player, and that quickly earned me the nickname Slim, and it stuck. Being with that group of guys for hours every day provided countless memories, with winning the 2020 Copper Bowl being at the top of that list. I'm glad I stepped outside of my comfort zone with the help of my friends and was a part of that team. Hockey, however, has always been the sport I've loved the most and is what gave me the most memories over these last 2 years. Road trips, team dinners, and hours of ping pong games are just a few of the things that I will always carry with me. But still, game days are what I'm going to miss the most. Putting on that number 10 Hancock jersey and stepping out onto the ice as the horn blared was an indescribable feeling, and is one thing I wish I could experience just one more time, but certainly something I will never forget. No matter the sport, playing for and representing the town of Hancock is an honor that I will forever be grateful for. The pride here at Hancock Central High is something that you just don't see anywhere else. No matter what it is, every student and teacher supports one another. Walking down the hallways on game days and hearing "good luck tonight" from so many other students as well as teachers was always the highlight of my school days. This support went beyond the school walls. If there was a can drive or any other fundraiser, no one in the community hesitated to donate. Inclusion is one other thing that many people here take pride in. A great example of this is the Special Olympics basketball game that HCH has hosted the past 2 years, and is something that I was lucky enough to be a part of. Seeing the joy in those kids' faces because they were getting the chance to do something they've never gotten to do in front of a big crowd is something I will remember forever. It's this sense of togetherness and selflessness that makes HCH such a remarkable place and what got us all through this tough time in a world ruled by COVID. It's now our responsibility to use these values that HCH has instilled in us to go out and conquer whatever awaits us. For some, this is college, for some, it is work, and for some, it is sports. Regardless of what it is, we have been given the tools to be successful, and I wish you all the best of luck and hope you find that success. Hancock Central High will forever have a special place in my heart, and it's hard to believe that it's already over. This school has given me the best 2 years of my life. It's given me friends, and most importantly, memories that I will hold on to forever. It's been my home away from home, and it hurts to have to say goodbye, but feels good knowing that it always will be home, because that's what it means to be a Bulldog. Thank you.
It is my honor to introduce our 2021 commencement speaker. Shane Burkar is a 1991 graduate of Hancock Central High School and is now finishing his second year as head coach of D1's men basketball at Northern Arizona University. He led the NAU Lumberjacks to their first conference tournament win in 6 years. Prior to this accomplishment, he was titled coach with the most wins with the 277-110 record at Mesa High School. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shane Burkar.
Thank you, Laura. Congratulations in your class ranking. Also, Gavin, outstanding job. And Mason, congratulations on your class ranking also. Karen and Pete Fenton, you must be proud parents. I get to listen to some of the games when you guys are deep into the playoffs on Pasty.net. And I hear the commercials for McGann Building Supply, and somebody who's been in sports their whole life, I know how important that is for the community. Thank you for supporting athletics. Mason Mickish, I know you have no idea who I am, but with your last name, I take you on my team every time. My biggest challenge today is going to be my allergies. I'm just telling you. Back to Mason. Mason, your family has been such a positive example in my life. I graduated with your Uncle Patrick. And I was fortunate enough to be coached by your grandpa, Bob, and how about your grandma, Sue? No matter what happened, she always had a positive twist on a game after her husband and son were arguing the whole day. And Mr. Mickish, I'm experiencing that right now as I coach my kids. I'm always the hardest on my own kids. Your father, Jeff, is a great friend since my childhood. I know your parents love you and are proud of you. One question that I am happy that I do not have to answer today is, what country am I from? When I meet people for the first time, I always get asked that, what country are you from? And I say, what country am I from? I'm from the United States. I'm from Michigan. I'm from the Upper Peninsula. I'm a Yooper. I'm from Hancock. So I'm very comfortable speaking today, knowing that I do not have an accent. I have to be honest, I don't answer my phone when the number is not in my contacts. I'm normal, right? Class of 2021? Nobody answers their phone if you're not in the contacts. But I do answer 906 numbers. And I got a call one morning, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was Mr. Patchen. And he says, hello, my name is Steve. I'm with Hancock Public Schools. And the first thought I have, why in the world is someone from Hancock Public Schools calling me? And then we shared some pleasantries, and he asked me if I would like to be the commencement speaker for the class of 2021. Instantly, I think, how many people turned this down to get to my name on that list? And before he changed his mind, I instantly said, yes, I would love to do that. Mr. Patchen, thank you for making that call and your leadership toward Hancock. Principal, Mr. Chris Solani. I have no problem saying Mr. Solani, but the real Mr. Solani, I'll get to in a little bit. Chris is a great teammate, and in that phone call, when Mr. Patchen called me, I found out that Mr. Danny Vara and Chris Solani were in the background. Teammates 30 years later that still had my teammates. To understand that and put this into perspective is, if I was sitting where you guys are sitting, I would be like, who's this guy from the class of 1961? So please bear with me today. Chris, I still remember getting into Bucksaw John Savis's car and going to breakfast that morning in his green little car. We thought we were cool back then, just like you guys do right now. Jimmy Gillette, Greg Givens, and myself went to breakfast that day, and we were playing the number 2 ranked Lake Linden Hubble Whiz Kids. So now they think they call them the Lakes. Number 2 team in the state, and we just had that self-confidence that Gavin, you talked about, that Mason, you talked about. We knew we were going to win that game. It was going to be a major upset that day. Unfortunately, that day in the Daily Mining Gazette, Paul Peterson had us also upsetting Lake Linden. Well, we got to the game at Condon Field. I never got an opportunity to play on this field. What a great setting this is. Well, I played at Condon Field. And that day, we kicked their tail 19-0. And they made the state finals that year, and they all had those Lake Linden shirts. And if you looked at their shirts closely, week 2, it said Hancock 19, Lake Linden 0. So I was always proud of that. And Chris, you had a big touchdown in that game that I'll never forget. And I was the first one jumping up on your broad shoulders. President Dale Carroll. I want to get to the board members. Dale, lefty, number 3, Carrie McCopper Kings. Had to marry a Houghton girl, Joan, who's one of my best friend's sister. I'm happy to say, Dale and Joan, you did get it right to raise your kids in this great school of Hancock. Catherine Jordan, if I remember correctly, you were part of the Hancock band. Just like it is today, it was always great to listen to and warm up to the band. Wendy Chenoweth, you married one of my best friends in high school, Jesse Chenoweth. And I was fortunate enough to be coached by your father. And I know you're raising a healthy family right now. Michael Ancor, I knew your father. He'd be so proud of you right now, you representing the board at Hancock. Steve Koskela, we just got to meet, but at the same time, I know you married up because you married someone who went to Hancock High School. Congratulations. Randy Hainanen, I remember playing Hungry Hungry Hippo at the old house with you. We've known and been friends, and our parents have been friends since we're little kids. Rod Pavla, I didn't get to see Rod, but Rod, we had some good times after high school. But the thing that I want to say more than anything is Rod was a class of 1988. And class of 2021, you guys can relate to me. When you're a freshman, those seniors, you look up to those seniors. And Rod, the biggest compliment I can give you right now is how you're always so good to us freshmen and all my buddies. Thank you for that. And it is already mentioned, I had a high pressure here. Mason talked about it, Gavin talked about it, and Laura. And I thought I was going to have a good one here. The true MVP who I broke in as an office aide 31 years ago. I graduated 30 years, but I was an office aide. Is, how about the MVP, Sherry Aldrich? Thank you, Sherry. Who, as I'll get to, as far as my journey is, we won a state championship in 2016. The school that I coached at had 3,600 students, 10th through 12th grade. Every graduating class is over 900. So, and one of my biggest moments, it's funny how as you guys get older, one of my biggest moments is you all have text threads. And the text thread that I looked at the most after that game was from all my buddies from Hancock and Houghton. Yeah, I do have a couple friends from Houghton. And also, Mrs. Healy. I don't know where Sherry is now, but I had an email, which I'm terrible at emails. Don't email me, text me. Is Mrs. Healy sent me a nice email, which I'll forever be grateful for that email. Thank you to everyone involved in Hancock and opening the doors. I know what it takes, as I was a high school teacher for 13 years, for our youth and allowing me to be part of this graduation. I'm extremely honored to be speaking to the class of 2021 and will be forever grateful. I have done a few things in my life, and I say that humbly. Today is not about me at all. I will tell about my life experience, but today is not about me. But outside of sports and family, this will be hard to top, speaking to the school that I went to. Myself, I graduated 30 years ago, as I said. My sister, the last graduation I've been to was in 1992 because my mom made me come watch my sister graduate. And I know there's some sisters and brothers out there who are not excited about coming to the graduation today. So in 1992, my sister graduated. She's now a principal in the state of Arizona. And my parents, if you don't mind, please standing. My mom, Mary Brisson, in 1968, and my dad, Tony. They don't listen to me. If that was my players, they'd be standing up right now. Listen to this. They graduated from Hancock in 1968. That's 53 years ago. Hancock Central High has a great history, and to be a Bulldog is something to be proud of. I wish there's some school buses coming up right now. Yellow. This is not my speech. I just feel it right now. Houghton Public Schools, we'd kick their tail right now, wouldn't we? I wish they'd show up right now. They'd never come across that bridge, though. Mom and Dad, I want to personally thank you for believing in me and making me who I am today, and making sure I went to the best high school in the state of Michigan, and not that school across the bridge. I think they call it Houghton. And what's that little thing they call it? What is that, a gremlin? On a personal side, I'm married to my wonderful wife, Julie. She could write a book on being married to a Youper, let me tell you. We have 4 kids. Our oldest, Bella, is here with me today. We flew in last night. Bella, if you don't mind standing. Now, see, she'll listen to me. I still have that. And ironically, she beat me to the stage. For her former preschool, she gave the commencement speech on Thursday night. We also have a 10-year-old boy, His name is Brisson, named after my grandma and grandpa who drove me everywhere and to all the Hancock events as a little kid. And you guys ready for this? I have 6-year-old twins, a boy and girl, Bennett and Brooklyn, who graduated from kindergarten on Wednesday. And I am not 30 years old. Why my family for a graduation speech? Because so many values that I learned growing up in Hancock are what my wife and I are putting in. My wife's from a small town in Iowa, and they are proud to come up here and see Grandma and Grandpa in the summer. So that is why. Team Burkar, I love you and look forward to your future successes. As I prepared for this day, I have so many positive thoughts and memories of my time at Hancock. Too many to mention and too many to talk about. I do want to mention a couple families, though. As class of 21, you all can relate to me. Because what's the saying? The village helps the community. I know I'm not saying it right, nor do I care to. But you guys understand what I'm saying. Families that I want to talk about, and again, I know I'm going to leave a lot of teammates out, and I do not mean to. John and Carol Allah, Paul and Marilyn Hannon, Fran and Ted Ritchie, Deb and John Vara, and I do have to mention 2 Houghton families, Jimmy and Margie Markham, and Bob and Sandra Backen. Besides my parents, you were simply the best. First ballot Hall of Famers. Thank you for helping raise me. Class of 2021, I want to be on your team today. We all are Hancock Bulldogs, so let's do this together. Now we get into the speech part of it, and I know you guys are done being lectured, but please hear me out. The number one question I always get, and again, I'm being humble, I'm just telling you my experience. The question that I get, am I allowed to take this off, Chris, or no? Is that better? Can you guys hear me better with that? Okay. How do you guys win, Shane? Why are you guys so tough? Why are you guys always playing so hard? And it's real simple. It is our mindset. If you were to line up with somebody else, we just think differently. That is our mindset. We believe in ourselves, and whatever it takes, we're going to get it done. So today, during my speech, I'm going to share the 3 biggest compliments that I can remember in my life as I prepared for today. One of the first ones that I want to mention is my wife and I were in town visiting, and we were leaving a restaurant one night, and someone comes up to me, and she says, Shane Burkar? And instantly I say, oh boy, here we go. And what she says to me is, hey, I just want to tell you, Rod Pavla, just like I just told you, she said to me, hey, in high school, you were always one of the nicest guys. And I still, to this day, Bella, have I told you that story before? Yeah. Okay. And I do that, and Julie and I talk about that, because it's so important to be a good person. Not for any motivation, just to be a good person. Where did I learn those values? Right here, living in Hancock. 3 L's that I want us, in class of 21, stick with me here. 3 L's that we need to do today. We absolutely need to be looking up here. We need to be listening. My great English teacher, I still remember my great English teacher, Mr. Don Carley. Mr. Carley, I remember going in his class, and he said, there's a difference between listening and hearing. So let's please listen today. If you can look and listen today, you might have an opportunity to learn something. So those are our 3 L's. That's going to be our foundation for our learning today. So let's see if you guys can listen. All right, I'm going to count to 3, and let's see if you guys can do a 2 clap. Can we handle that? Oh, no, not this guy. Now I got to get involved. Okay, let's see what you guys got here, all right? On a count of 3, a 2 clap. 1, 2, 3. Count of 3, 1 clap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 1, class of 21. Okay, good job. Now stick with me. I still have about 45 minutes here. Trust me, I will not do that to you guys. I will not do that. So now I'm a Division I men's basketball coach. My first recruiting event as a head coach, Georgia Tech's head coach comes across the gym and says to me, "Hey Shane, congratulations. You are one of 357 guys who have this job." I thought to myself, not bad for my Youper who went to elementary school in Chassel and graduated from Hancock. You see, at a young age, I knew I was coming to Hancock because, as I said, my mom and dad graduated from Hancock. But then I thought, I better win a couple games here so I can still be one of those 357. As a kid, and this is where I get emotional. As a kid, I played everything and loved to compete at everything. If it was, as Mason, you said, ping pong or pool down at Copper Bowl Lanes or playing Hungry Hungry Hippo with Hano, I love to compete. Don't know why. I sincerely don't know why. Not trying to be cool. Don't know why. Just did. If I didn't win, I was upset. Being honest, I'd cry. A lot of people would tell me, "Come on, Shane, you need to relax. You're too serious. It's just a game." Well, anybody know who's ever played anything knows it's never just a game. But as I got older, I realized it was in me, and I was not apologizing for who I was. In class of 21, don't ever apologize for who you are. Winning burns in me every day. Again, I say that humbly. I don't practice it. It's just in me. In class of 21, there's going to be some things in you that I would tell you to attack. I want to challenge you, class of 2021. Ask yourself, what's your story? Do you have the self-confidence to truly go for it? What risk will you take? There are going to be risks involved. There are going to be sacrifices involved. Will you run your race? Run your race. Nobody else's race. Winners win. Every day our team comes into our film room, we have a sign that says winners win. I want our guys walking in there with that confidence that they are a winner, and they are winners. With intensity. Word I made up, only a Youper could understand it. The intensity, all it is a W in front of intensity. My wife always says, "You're way too intense, Shane." I don't want to hear that. What you want to get done, you can get done. And Mason, you took my speech. You already have said that. Here's the deal, guys. I'm a big Division I coach, right? No, I'm not. I'm just a guy from Hancock, Michigan, 30 years older than you guys. The 3 Ds I want to get into, and let's call them the 3 dogs. I think that works good today. Is number 1, be a dreamer. Not a goofy dreamer, be a true dreamer. The other one is the daily process. I'm going to teach you guys the how to do it. And sooner or later in life, as all us parents up here know, or anybody who's been out of school for a while, there comes a point in your life where you have to be a doer. You have to be a doer. And you know what the best part of that is? You want to be a doer. Let me tell you a couple of stories. Stories that involve my life, but it is more important than anything is the impact of Hancock and why I think I'm in a position I am today. Class of 21s, parents, grandparents, hopefully, and I think you'll appreciate these stories. Number 1, can you guys hear me okay? I feel I can't use my hands. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Usually I talk with my hands. So why am I a coach? I 100% believe this is why I'm a coach. I must have been 6 or 8 years old, and Paul Hanen was the head hockey coach here at Hancock. And my buddy, who I talked about, Randy Hanen, and I were buddies, and our parents were friends, and we'd hang out together. And Coach Hanen asked me, "Hey, Shane, do you want to be a stick boy for the next coming game?" And I was like, yes. I was so excited to be the stick boy. The game was at Michigan Tech. I do not know who Hancock was playing. I was in the locker room. before the game, me and Hano were probably playing stickball or something, playing hockey. And all of a sudden, here come the players. And y'all can understand that. Here come the players. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Little chatter. They come in the locker room. Then it gets quiet. And this is where I fall in love. It's quiet. Everybody's serious. Here comes Coach Hannon and his assistant coach, Coach Hembroff. They give a speech. They're talking. I'm staring at all the players, and I stop on my favorite player, number 14, Russie Killinen. I keep staring at Russie, and he must think what the heck is this kid all about here? But Coach Hannon gets done talking, and I'm ready to jump in the pile and get after these guys and run on that ice with my Sorel boots. And it's still quiet. And it's my first time in the locker room. And all of a sudden, buzz, the buzzer goes off. The ice is ready. And the locker room just explodes. I was so fired up. I fell in love that night. And I really believe that is one of the reasons I'm a coach today. And to this day, when we win games, all the kiddos are allowed in our locker room. Thank you, Coach Hannon, for having me have that experience. At this point in my life, I wanted to be a player. But the problem with being like Russ was he was a lefty. As years went on, I went to the games. My Aunt Lucille and Uncle Rob would bring me to the games to watch my cousin Brian play. But the problem with Brian was he was a lefty. And as I mentioned, I was a righty. So then I wanted to be the next Chris Givens, Scotty Mickish, number 12. He had a great chance. And then I wanted to be like Chucky Mitchell. Chucky Mitchell could throw that baseball hard. He was always good to all of us. So was Chris, and so was Scotty. And I wanted to be like Scotty Mitchell, or Chucky Mitchell. And as I grew up, and plus Chucky was a righty, number 7. And as I grew up, I got to play baseball and softball with Chuck. And he used to throw the ball hard, and I could throw it decently too. And we'd always play catch together. Chucky was my idol. Chucky, rest in peace. Not many people get to play with their idol. Mr. John Vara. He was a principal in Chassel, where I went to elementary school. Got to go to Chassel Panther games in 1986. To Mr. Vara bringing me to state championship games downstate. Thank you for understanding I couldn't get out of my own way in high school and protecting me outside the sporting arenas. You do the right thing for a teenager trying to figure out life. I've helped many young men and women who couldn't get out of their own way in high school. And then how about this? My first year as a head coach at Northern Arizona, Mr. and Mrs. Vara come to a game and we share some nachos after a big win. Dave Wolf. Dave Wolf was my first JV basketball coach. Played JV my freshman year. He built so much confidence into me as a player. One of the biggest strengths that people say I have is I have self-confidence. He was always telling me how good I was, and I finally got in my head, you know what, I am pretty good. I remember after our last practice, he got paid, probably a couple $100, and he brought the whole team to Burger King over in Houghton. And to this day, one of my favorite things to do is to go out and eat with our team after games. And his dad was a pretty good typing teacher. Yes, typing. Gary Mishika and Steve Smith, I see your names on a program. I want to thank you for being coaches. Coach Smith, thank you for teaching me the value of education. My teams have always had good grades. This year, which is unheard of at the Division I level, we had 11 players out of 13 guys who had a 3-point GPA or higher. Rick Miller was my assistant high school football coach, and every season he tried to get me to play hockey. As I mentioned, I played hockey growing up for Bob Mickish. We won, and I think, Chris, we are the first team ever to win a state championship here at Hancock. Is that true? I think that's true. 91, we won a golf championship. And we played cards till 5:30 in the morning. I would not tell you that's how you win a state championship. But Coach Miller knocked on that door at 6 o'clock. We went to bed at 5:30, and he says, how did you sleep last night, boys? And we all looked at each other. Coach, we slept great. We went on and we won a state championship that day. And he stopped right outside of Crystal Falls at Sitco. And you know what he bought us? He bought us Swisher Sweets. And the thing I learned about that more than anything that day was don't smoke, and guys who do smoke, only smoke cigars to keep the bugs away. Bob Solani and Jesse, this is one of the things that I remember so much playing football with you. Bob Solani was our JV coach, and he'd always say, our so-called quarterback, our so-called running back, our so-called defensive end, whenever you made a mistake, and he'd take a puff of his cigarette on the football field. And then guess what? To this day, to my players, I say, our so-called point guard, our so-called center. So, Coach Solani, I still have what you taught us. Coach Richard Solani, got to see you today. And I can honestly say this. I loved every practice. Going to your house with the team and watching the games on Monday were simply the best. And Maria, your cookies sure were good too. The countdown. I don't know if you remember this, Coach, but you'd always have the countdown. We'd do running at the end of practice, and he would say, 16 more days, 15 more days. To this day, I still use the countdown in a positive way. You only have, you know when a Copper Bowl is, right? Mason, you guys won it in 2020. You know when it is. You only have so many days to that day, game. But, Coach, you always had that touch of knowing what every player needed. And I like to think I do the same thing with my players. I'm hard on my players, but I know that touch. I think that year we were 7-2, and we got snowed out in Westwood. I think it was Westwood. Heck, it's been 30 years, Coach. Let's tell a good story. We were 9-0 that year. Mr. Henderson, baseball, what a passion. Loved every minute being on that ball field with you. If we had a high school baseball team back in my day, we would have had won many state championships before my time, during my time, and after my time. Ironically, I was a driver's ed teacher for 13 years at Mesa High School, and I'd see Mr. Henderson over the years in Mesa. And the last one, my varsity basketball coach, Coach Doug Hannon, Wendy's father. He pumped me up so much with confidence. He was hard on me, probably more in individual meetings. Jesse and Buxa probably would say he wasn't hard on me. He was very hard on me. I told Coach Hannon my junior season, Coach, I'm going to be a Division I coach someday, expecting some feedback of, come on, Shane, be real, be realistic. You know what Coach Hannon tells me at 17 years old? Coach, or he tells me, Shane, hey, I know you will be, and I can't wait to that day. How does that happen? How does your high school coach tell you, yes, you're going to be a Division I coach from Hancock, Michigan in the UP, where we know it's dominant by hockey? Coach Hannon, the night you called me, the night before you were going to resign, after we got upset by Ontonagon, which today still drives me nuts. I'd say a couple swears, but I know it's not appropriate right now. Coach, I'm proud to say we did win 2 championships together. I have 2 state championships rings, and I have a Big Sky championship ring coming. And those championships are because how you coached me. Class of 2021, you might not be able to connect the dots quite yet, but you will have those same type of memories as I had during my time at Hancock. You see, in those examples that I just gave you, I learned how to dream. I was able to dream. Nobody stepped on me like I was some ant and said, you cannot do it. And I'm telling you right now, everyone in class of 2021, you can do it. So our first D was be a dreamer. Not be a goofy dreamer, be a dreamer. The second part, the daily process. I'm going to teach you right now how to do it. For me, the toughest years of my life was from 18 to 24 years old. Our daily goals for our teams are to have fun. Fun can be defined in many different ways. You can define those how you want to define those. For me, it's a grind. I love grinding. I don't even work. When I go coach basketball, I love it. Our second goal every day is to get better wherever we are. And sometimes it's on a basketball court, but whatever degree you guys want, English class from 1 to 2 or 1 to 150, be great from 1 to 150. Understand, it's just part of the process. And the last one is be a great teammate. Be a great coworker. Don't be jealous. Root for each other. As I said, I had many great teammates. Expectations. You guys will be hit with expectations now. Where are you going to school? What degree are you getting? You're not going to college. You're taking a semester off. You don't have a significant other. Who are you dating now? Well, how do you guys break up? Where are you working? And probably the best one you guys are hearing right now. You have a summer job, right? All those expectations. Parents, love your kids. Kiddos, your parents might know something. But right now, parents, your children are going to need you more than ever, probably from 18 to 24. Believe in yourself. Sincerely believe in yourself. I could tell you more stories, and you would think they were just stories. I am not embarrassed to tell you I made a bunch of mistakes, dealt with some tough deals, but no matter what anybody said to me or talked behind my back, I always believed in myself. Always believe in yourself. And I do believe that was one of my greatest gifts. If this happens to you, and you do have some tough times, and you're going to, if you're going to achieve anything, you will have some tough times. But I would tell you to forgive yourself and get up and take the next step. I loved your quote about Rocky Balboa is, hey, it doesn't matter how much you get hit or how hard you get hit. Just keep getting up. Just outwork people. Go where you can win. I remember Patrick Mickish telling me as a young coach, Ferguson, his coach in Des Moines, said, go where you can win. And I would tell you that too. Go where you can have success. Surround yourself with like people. Do not give in. You are closer than you think. So to recap the daily process, every day, do this. Have fun. Can be defined in many different ways. Get better at where you are and be a great teammate. If my players are up here right now with me, they could recite those easily. This will help attain your goals. You do not win state championships, Big Sky championships, job interviews. You know what happens if you lose a job interview, correct? You don't get the job. You have to win the job interview. It's a combination of those tough, great days that will help you be successful. Last I checked, that's called life. Deal with it. Last part is being a doer. You all will get to that point in life where you know, hey, being a doer, sooner or later, it's going to be 1 + 1 = a win. 1 + 1, the first part is being a dreamer. You guys are already dream. I mean, we go to bed and we dream. I mean, it's just in us. And then if you can do it every single day, you can be a doer. Second compliment, as I mentioned at the beginning, I give you 3 biggest compliments of my life. Second one, Coach Burkar loves his players. They don't always think that, but I do. First practice of our 2015-16 season. As I mentioned to you, there's 3,600 students in our school. I tell our guys, I love you guys. You know that, but I'm not telling you that every day. We have a job to do for this community. Our community, socioeconomically, was not great. When I took the job at Mesa, they said, you are crazy. It is a graveyard for coaches. 12 years later, every single year, we're in the top 10 of the state. For 7 of those 10 years, we were top 5 in the state. But this year, It was just one of those things in life where you have to do it. As I said, I did not tell my guys anything else except if we don't win a state championship, we would be considered a failure. And yes, that is tremendous pressure. You live for 9 months, but that was a reality we were living in. The 2016 preseason came out. We were preseason number 3. I was ticked. I thought we should have been preseason number 2. The number 1 team in the state had 70 consecutive wins against the state of Arizona. Not one of those wins were against us. They simply would not schedule us. Then we finally got them on our schedule, and it was a jam-packed gym. The media was there. We got an article in the USA Today. To me, that was big time for us. We beat them by 3 points. If it was a January game, we would have beat them by 15. I let my players play because I knew there was a bigger picture coming. We won that game to beat them, first time in 70 games. Long story short, we moved on to that season, and we did win a state championship. We were down 15 points in the first half. And I said to myself, Shane, if you're tough, you're going to figure this out. So sometimes when you're a doer, it's not going perfect. Figure it out. You are tough enough to do that. Without winning those games, I'd have zero chance of being a Division I head coach. As I said with Coach Hanen, I told him when I was 17 years old, I would be a Division I coach. Now understand, it took me 10 years to win that state championship. It just doesn't happen. You have to go every single day. And the other thing I would tell you is winning does matter. Anybody who tells you winning doesn't matter, they just don't understand. Winning does matter. You will lose too now. We all understand that. You're going to lose a bunch. You're going to lose more than you win in as far as being a doer. If you win on a Tuesday night against, don't mean to put anybody on the bus, Jeffers, that's not a big deal, is it? You're supposed to win that game. I hope we're supposed to win that game anyway. But if you win that district championship, that's a big deal. So, the other thing I would tell you is take risk. Bet on yourself. I have it made. I'm at Mesa High School. I'm the all-time winningest coach at Mesa High School. Everybody knows me in that community. There's over 100,000 people in this city, and everybody knows when Mesa High School plays. But I had an itch. I just had an itch. And my dear friend Jack Murphy was a head coach at Northern Arizona University, coming off a 5-27 season, and he asked me to come up and be an assistant coach. The problem is I have a wife with 4 kids, and we just built our dream house in Mesa in 2017. I was going to coach my boys and live happily ever after. Well, it's just in you. Stuff is just in you. So then, yes, foolishly, I took the job, and we doubled our wins. We were 10-21. 10-21, just not good enough. Trying to figure out, I said, I'm going to make a run at this till I'm 50 years old. If not, I'll go back to the high school ranks. Well, one morning I'm reading at my house, and Coach Murphy calls me, and he always calls me Coach Burkar. But that morning he calls and says, hey, Shane, can you come into the office early today? And I said, sure. He shuts the door and says, hey, I'm going to leave Northern Arizona. I'm going to go be the associate head coach at the University of Arizona. And my first thought, and I'm going to tell you guys this too, is help the people who you are. Go get your own darn job. Help the people who you're working for. That's where you are right now in life. And he said, so I'm thinking, okay. Well, he says, our athletic director, Mr. Mike Marlowe, wants you to be the interim for the season. For those of you who don't know what the interim is, that means when that ship is docked, get out of town. So I go and talk to Mr. Marlowe and President Chang, and they say, hey, Shane, you do have a chance to get this job. It's like that movie Dumber and Dumber. So you're saying I have a chance. Well, ironically, that summer, the St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup with who as their head coach? An interim. That winter, national championship game, Clemson against LSU, Dabble Sweeney against Ed Ogeron. Both of them were interim head coaches. I got their emblems in my office. I asked our Deputy Athletic Director, Yuri Farkas, can you put on my office interim head coach? He said, no, we are putting head coach. I wanted to see that every day, to be driven by that interim. I made no bones about it. I wanted the job. Nobody thought we'd have a good season. It was a wash. Well, I told our guys that, in no unclaimed words, I said, we're going to win this year. Winners win. We go on to have a 16-14 season, first winning season in program since 2015. And the thing that I am proud about has very little to do with me. Has a lot to do with my players and our administrations. In that season, there were 43 Division I new head coaches that year. And we had the best winning percentage from one year to the next. Again, not about me, it's about the people in our mindset. Number three, my third biggest compliment that I had in my life is I sat in the office of our athletic director after the season. And hey, this is gut check time. Am I getting a job? Am I not getting a job? Am I moving back to Mesa? Understand, my family stayed in Mesa, but the next year when I was the interim, we moved. We went for it. So again, take a risk and go for it. And he says, Shane, I don't know if you're so focused on being a ball coach or you're just a stubborn youper, but you have earned a 5-year contract here at Northern Arizona. Mr. Marlowe is a progressive thinker. And this year, as Laura said, we had our first win in school history since 2015, a Big Sky Championship. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not afraid to say it, we'll be in the NCAA tournament next year or soon after. Not because of me, but because of our mindset, our self-confidence of our players, and because we are dreamers. Class of 21, please be dreamers. Believe in yourself. Take a risk. The how-to is every day. There's a daily process to it, and then you can become a doer. You guys are doers already. As you guys said, Gavin, you said not everybody made it up here. At my old high school, when they came in as freshmen, there's over 1,100 freshmen. By the time they graduated, it was 850 to 900. 200 young people didn't make it. So you guys have already done something. I want to win this game today by saying, be safe and be smart. And if you can't be smart, please be safe. You hear the old wise tale about how high school is the best years of your life. It is a wise tale. Your high school years are great years of your life. As you could tell from my tone of voice and my emotions, I am Hancock. I am proud to be from Hancock. The best is yet to come for you. You have so many great seasons ahead of you. Dream daily and become a doer. Run your race. Class of 2021, congratulations.
And to think, Shane asked if we could have a PowerPoint presentation for the day. Dr. Patchen, President Carroll, we are now ready to recognize the issuing of diplomas to the class of 2021. First row, please rise. Noelle Alina Abernathy, with honor. Quinn Aho. Kaisa Don Alholina, with honor. Coy Melvin Anderson with honor. Eric Jalmer Anderson with honor. Megan Noel Basolo. Trevor Jonathan Borky with honor. Michael James Bryant. Lydia Lynn Bilkis, National Honor Society with honor. Carson J. Shanawith, National Honor Society with honor. Suzanne Nicole DeWald. Laura Lou Fenton, National Honor Society with honor, salutatorian. Benjamin Michael Galetto with honor. Madison Nicole Garnell. Brianne Marie Hammerstrom, National Honor Society with honor.